So, Marcellus.
Fixated.
I'm not going to ask you if that was tampering. I don't know if you're allowed to spend time with.
Well, in Cabo, if you're drunk, there's an exception. You know? If you're lit, we can have an exception. Cabo.
Well, let's talk about it. Was it a smart move by the Rams to trade for Matt Stafford?
No, it wasn't a smart move. It was a genius move, pairing him with another genius in Sean McVay. If you ever had some time to sit down with Sean McVay, the first thing you will feel is how inadequate you are in terms of acumen about the game of football. Man, that dude is next level. I'm not just talking about his recall. That's already well documented. I'm just talking about the complexities, the way he sees the game, the way he schemes up the game. And you can see that it has worked. His fingerprints are on an organization that was going through futility prior to his existence. Now, let's say why this is a genius move. One, you just got to look at the other side of the ball, being frank first. Look at the first-ranked defense. Look at the first-ranked defense in points allowed and yards. Let's look at what they have. And what they have there is Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Those two guys being the guys that they are for this team, you can't waste their talents while they're still in their prime. So when you're thinking about your defense and giving up the fewest points allowed, now you got to look at your offense and say, are you holding up your end of the bargain? Unfortunately, the Rams offense wasn't. And then they have an opportunity to go get a quarterback who we all know, if people don't know, let me just profess this, who has probably the best arm in the league, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford. I'll throw them in a competition to say who's going to win. It's a flip them. But if you want to talk about what Matthew Stafford was dealing with in Detroit, pretty sad. Over the last two seasons, my man Matthew Stafford has seen his defense give him more points allowed than any other team in the league. So all of his efforts were for naught. His team would just give up 29.4 points per game, no matter what he did. Now you put him on a team that gives up the fewest amount of points per game with his same talents. His best football should be in front of him as he's paired now with a genius. It was a genius move.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a smart move, and the reason I believe so is coaches, organizations, management, they don't oftentimes keep their foot on the pedal. And what I mean by that, I remember in college, back when I was playing in Texas, we were good, won the national championship that year, and we were up against like Colorado or something, Marcellus, at halftime, up by maybe 14. Defensive coordinator Will Muschamp, he comes out there, you got their head on the curb, now kick it in. I'm like, oh, coach, calm down.
Hey, what movie you been watching?
Too violent.
Your Honor?
But then I said, wait a second. What he's saying is, when you're close, finish the job. The Rams realize we have a top-flight defense. They know they're close.
Yeah.
Finish the job.
Yeah,
most teams get content with having a good defense. We'll stay with an adequate quarterback, and we'll be close in the running, and we might win it. But Sean McVay is like, no. Aaron Donald has 3 to 5 years left in his prime. Jalen Ramsey probably has 5 to 7 years left in his prime. Top-flight cornerback play. I'm not going to waste it.
Don't waste
it. But an even more intricate and intriguing stat is this. The last 3 years, we look at the teams with the #1 scoring defense, but look at what happened to them the following year. 2017, the Vikings, the following year, 8-7-1. Their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, they missed the playoffs. The Bears had the #1 scoring defense. Then Mitch Trubisky the following year, they go 8-8, missed the playoffs. The Patriots had the #1 scoring defense in 19, but the following year, 7-9, Cam Newton's their quarterback. They missed the playoffs. Now the Rams have the best defense in 2020, scoring defense. They did not want to follow suit with what we have seen so many other teams do. So many other teams are like, nah, we got a good defense. We're just going to assume we'll get better. Osmosis, happenstance, maybe just going back to practice. Not the Rams. They're like, wait a second. We think we might be a slight upgraded quarterback away. Let's go ahead and make that upgrade, see what happens. Well, let's bring in somebody for another opinion. Fox NFL analyst Bucky Brooks. So, Bucky, talk to us. Was this a smart move by the Rams to trade for Matt Stafford?
Smart move. I hear you guys waxing poetic about Matthew Stafford as if he is the best thing that we've ever seen at the quarterback position. However, I'm going to tell you that the emperor has no clothes. When we look at Matthew Stafford, look, he's been phenomenal as an individual player. His talent speaks for itself. But at the end of the day, quarterbacks are judged by their ability to get the team to the winner's circle. When I look at Matthew Stafford, the individual numbers are spectacular. 282 touchdowns, 144 interceptions. But the problem is you have a guy who only has 4 winning seasons on his watch. He has 0 playoff wins. He hasn't been able to do it. And I know what we're going to say. We say, oh, it's a team sport. That wasn't on him. They let him down. He didn't have the pieces around him to be successful. But the funny thing is, when I look at Jared Goff's numbers, Jared Goff's numbers are comparable. Matthew Stafford's career passer rating is 89.9. You know what Jared Goff's is? 91. Matthew Stafford has 10-plus interceptions in 10 of his 12 seasons. Jared Goff has 10-plus interceptions in the last 3, which made Sean McVay very upset. So what we've done is we've swapped out quarterbacks, and we have a more talented quarterback in the position, but now we don't have any picks, and we can't add any more pieces to help Matthew Stafford out. Because as Marcellus talked about, oh, he hasn't had a defense. And then I'll tell you, oh, he hasn't had a running game. Well, guess what? You can't add any more pieces because you auction off all the picks to bring back the quarterback. So while it may look different, Sean McVay may feel better because now he can do some plays that he couldn't do with Jared Goff. The results will be the same, if not worse, because I'm not convinced that they're going to win more games with Matthew Stafford at quarterback.
Well, let's fight. It's time to get it in, brother. I wholeheartedly disagree with you on so many levels. Let's just start here with the whole understanding of a first-round pick. And I know a lot of us are enamored with that first-round pick because you can get a franchise hopes to go up as soon as you draft someone that they saw at the collegiate game level, go out there and now become a part of your franchise. And everyone's like, yeah, except there's a transition. Except that when you see a guy making that transition, not all of them succeed. So let's look at what the contract terms are for acquiring Matthew Stafford. Basically, you just got Matthew Stafford for 2 years and $43 million. What? Are you kidding me? 21 and a half for Matthew Stafford per year? Smart deal. And you don't have to pay an unproven rookie all of this money just to see if he's going to prove himself when you have a proven veteran. Let's talk about this veteran because Bucky wants to make it seem like Matthew Stafford's not the best. Well, duh, but is he better than Jared Goff? Oh, yes. Let's talk about this. Matthew Stafford gives you the deep ball element that Jared Goff struggled with. Matthew Stafford on 20-plus yards downfield throws, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 118 passer rating. Let's see what Jared Goff did in the same amount of throws down the field. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 65 passer rating. That's not good. So now you don't have a deep threat element, which is going to crowd the running game. Is also going to make it difficult for the Rams receivers in a short intermediate passing game. All of that makes it harder on your offense. Let's talk about the fact the last 3 seasons, no one has more turnovers than Jared Goff. The same Jared Goff that's making $33.5 million per year, the same Jared Goff that has been in regression because the Rams offense was #1 in scoring in 2017. Dropped to #2, not much of a drop, I understand that. But then they dropped to 11, and then this year, 22. Hey, Jared, you're getting all your money, but why are you going the wrong direction? You can't throw the deep ball as well. Your passer rating is dropping off of a cliff, and you're making it harder for us to run the ball as well as throw the short game. Make it make sense. Oh, you can by getting Matthew Stafford.
You can make it make some sense. See, that's the problem in our society this day and age. We got extremists. We got Bucky Brooks on one extreme. We got Marcellus Wiley on another extreme.
Well,
and here Emmanuel Acho comes as a peacekeeper.
Moderate.
To hold his hands out and say there are 2 extremes. I actually lean more on Bucky Brooks' side than I do you, Marcellus, because tangibly, I think Matthew Stafford is light years ahead of Jared Goff. Tangibly. But to Bucky's point, I believe quarterback is a winning statistic. Now, like all statistics, there are outliers. I understand that. Deshaun Watson, he is an outlier.
Baker Mayfield.
But look at the quarterbacks currently in the playoffs and the last 4 that were there. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Winning quarterbacks win football games. So when you look at Matthew Stafford and you're like, wait a second, bro. You ain't really 1 in 12 opportunities there? Like, they couldn't pattern match you with coaching or management to win in 12 chances? Meanwhile, the coach that got fired from Detroit, not Patricia, the coach before Patricia, everybody's begging for him to get another job. Wait a second, Stafford, what's really good? So with all that being said, I understand, yes, the Rams upgraded tangibly Marcellus Wiley, but as far as intangibles, Analyst Bucky Brooks. So, Bucky, talk to us.
Look,
Was this a smart move by the Rams to trade for Matt Stafford?
Smart move. I hear you guys waxing poetic about Matthew Stafford as if he is the best thing that we've ever seen at the quarterback position. However, I'm going to tell you